Hey guys, it's Tori. So today we have a massive book haul. I have like 25 books or so here, and then there's a few others that I ordered that are still on the way that I'm gonna tell you guys about. But this is accumulative since my last book haul. So it's been the past like 2.5 months, maybe, something like that. I am about to go on a book buying ban up until like my birthday. I'm gonna allow myself to buy like pre-orders or like a continuation of a series if I'm already reading it and I like the book. But that's what we're doing today. We're gonna do a big old book haul. This is the first time I'm filming with this setup and I'm loving it. I'm very excited. But with all that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my face. Check out all my socials down below, including my Goodreads and my Amazon wishlist. And let's get into this massive, massive book haul. Okay, I'm just gonna like grab books in no order. I'll tell you if I got them from like Barnes or if they're from Amazon. But yeah, let's get into it. So the first two are part of a series. It is Fair Catch and Blindside. I'm not 100% sure which one is first. I feel like it's Blindside, but that might be wrong. I don't know much about these, but these are the special edition covers, and I know that they are football romance. That's about all I know. If you guys don't know, I'm obsessed with football romances. I really love sports romances like more than anything. So I grabbed the first and second. I just can't remember which is first, but these are by Candy Steiner, so I'm very, very excited. I don't think they seem too long. Yeah, they're like 350-ish pages each, but I'm very, very excited to get into these, and I'm pretty sure these are on Kindle. I think they're on Kindle Unlimited. Don't quote me on that, but those are the first two books. Next is a bit of a whoopsie. So I bought Powerless by Elsie Silver thinking that this was the second book in the Chestnut Springs. This is the Chestnut Springs series, and I bought this thinking it was the second book because these mirror covers are going out of print and you can no longer get the first or second one, and I bought this thinking it was the second. Well, it's actually the third. So now I have Flawless and Powerless in these covers, but not the second one, which I believe is Heartless. So I kind of done fucked up, but I'm obsessed with this cover. I haven't started the series yet, but my plan is to read Flawless as my next read. So I'm very, very excited to get into this. I literally love these covers. The series is basically cowboy romances. They're like ranchers, bull riders, stuff like that. This one is childhood friends to lovers, which, if you don't know me, I love childhood friends to lovers, but I'm obsessed with this specific cover in the series. So I'm excited to get into those. We have another series with also limited edition covers. So this is the Rules of the Game series by Avery Keelan. I have one other book by her. I haven't read it yet, but she mainly writes hockey romances. So I have book 1, which is Offside, and the book 2, which is Shut Out. I love these covers. They're literally so pretty. For some reason, Offside is like super, super big, and it's, I don't know why, it's like bent, probably from shipping, but this one is way thicker than this one, like a huge difference. Don't know what that's about, but I'm very excited to get into these. I follow her on Instagram and I see her quotes literally all the time, so I cannot wait to get into these books. So we have Offside, and then we have Shut Out, which is significantly shorter than the other one, but very excited about those. We have yet another sports romance because apparently that's all I buy. So this is The Right Move by Liz Tom Ford. This is the second book after Mile High. It's the Windy City series. So this is the second one in that series. I've heard this is the best one. Also absolutely obsessed with this cover. It's literally stunning. But I cannot wait to read these books. I can't wait to get to this one specifically because I've heard it's the best. But yeah, I think this one's about a NBA player, and the first one is about a hockey player. So very excited about that, and there is a third one coming out in this series. The next one is one I'm excited but scared to read. This is The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros. I've seen a few people read this recently. I know Julie, aka JB, on like all socials, Books with JB, she read this recently, and I think either Sarah or Des has also read this, but this is the same author as Fourth Wing, and so this is basically about this girl whose brother is in the military and he's like shipped off, and they write letters back and forth, and I believe he asks his sister to also write to his friend who has no like family or anyone to write to, and then they fall in love. This is supposed to be really, really sad, so I'm assuming someone's probably gonna die, but the cover is beautiful, and you can't find this like at Barnes or anywhere. I had to buy it on Amazon, but I'm very excited to get into it, and there's two little people back there, so excited to get into this. I've heard it's good but sad. So next we have another book in a series. This is The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber. This is the like only US edition you can really get, which is for some reason hardback. You can't buy this in paperback in the US, but I did however buy Once Upon a Broken Heart and The Ballad of Never After in the UK special edition covers. I will put a picture up on the screen, but they're not supposed to be here for a few more days, but I'm very excited to get those because they're literally beautiful. I got them from Waterstone, which is like the UK version of Barnes & Noble, but I have this one. This is supposed to be like the best book in this series. The print is pretty large, like they're not small words. I'm pretty sure this series is on Kindle Unlimited, and then also the third one, which I think is like A Curse for True Love or something like that, comes out in October. So I'm excited to finally dip into this series once it's fall time, which for me fall is basically right now, so I cannot wait to get into this trilogy. I've heard it's literally amazing. Sarah and Des both love it. Next we have a summer read. This is 28 Summers by Elin Hilderbrand. I bought this because I planned on reading it before summer was over, but now I'm not sure if I will get to it or not. It is in like the mass market paperback version, so it's like much smaller than like a typical book. It's like a lot smaller and thicker. But I've heard Elin Hilderbrand is super, super good. I know Sarah literally loves her for summer reads. I planned on reading this before summer was over, but now I'm like ready to get into my fall TBR. So I don't know if I'm going to get to this summer, but I am excited to try out Elin Hilderbrand's books because they're supposed to be super, super good. We have yet another series. There's actually a lot of series in here. So we have Serpent and Dove and Blood and Honey. I saw Sarah read these and I found them at Barnes and I was like, I want those. The covers are literally stunning and they are YA fantasy, I believe. It's about a witch and a witch hunter who are thrust into holy matrimony. Oh, interesting. Okay, this sounds really good. I didn't really know exactly what it was about. I go into a lot of books pretty blind. I kind of like it that way, but it sounds like it is a like marriage of convenience or forced proximity type of thing, and about witches. I don't know, good for fall maybe, we'll see, but I love a good YA fantasy book, so I got the first two in that series, and there is one more. This next book I'm very excited but nervous to get into, and that is The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J Maas. So basically this is the first book in the Throne of Glass series. I've heard that you can read this one as like the third book, or you can read it as the first book, but Destiny said to read this before you actually read Throne of Glass, so that's what I'm gonna do. And I have Throne of Glass, but I didn't have the Assassin's Blade, so obviously I had to pick this up. I plan on starting this series soon. Destiny has said that you need to read Throne of Glass before you read Crescent City. This is like a very long, thick series, so that makes me a little nervous because CC3 comes out the very end of January this coming year, and so I wanted to read the first two Crescent City books so that I could be ready for the third one, but she said that you need to read these first. So I'm gonna do my best to do that. I know it's one of Destiny's like all-time favorite series, and I love Sarah J Maas. ACOTAR is like top tier for me. I literally love that series. My copies are actually right up there, but I am obsessed with Sarah, and I'm excited to get back into her writing because it has been way too many months since I have read anything written by Sarah J Maas. This next book is probably one of the most hyped books of 2023. It's one of the most talked about books I have almost ever seen, and that is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. So I haven't read this yet, but it is very, very high on my TBR right now. The cover is beautiful. I didn't get the one with sprayed edges, unfortunately, because I couldn't find it anywhere, and getting this book was near impossible, but I'm very excited to read it. There's a super pretty map on the inside, but I cannot wait to get into this. All I know is it's about like this school and you can get a dragon. The second one comes out in, I believe, October. So once I read this, if I like it, I will definitely be pre-ordering that book. But I cannot wait to finally read this. I've heard the most amazing things. Like literally everybody who has read this book is like obsessed with it. So I can't wait to get my opinion on it. I'm ready to get back into my fantasy era. Like I'm so ready for fall and fantasy and just all the good vibes. So I can't wait to read this. Next we have a Chloe Walsh book. So this is Endgame by Chloe Walsh. This is the Ocean Bay series. I think these are football romances, if I'm not mistaken. I don't really know much. All I know is that I saw the covers while I was looking at the Boys of Tommen series, and I was like, oh my god, this looks so good. So I grabbed it. And something super exciting is that Chloe Walsh announced the 5th book in the Boys of Tommen series, and it is, I think it's called Taming 7, and it's supposed to come out in April of 2024, and I'm literally so beyond excited about it. Like, y'all don't understand. I cannot wait to get back into the series because the first 2 books are literally everything. They're so fucking good, but I wanted to try something else by her, and this seems a little more lighthearted. It sounds like there's gonna be drama, and we love a romance book with drama, so I'm excited. These were not even that expensive. I think this one was like $13 or something, and there are 2 more. They're in my like wish list, but I was like, let's start with the first one, see how we feel before we buy the whole series. I'm trying to be a little more financially responsible when it comes to buying books. So these next 2 might confuse you guys a little bit. If you don't know, at the very beginning of the year I read Magnolia Parks, and I was just not a fan. And then Sarah read it a few months ago, and she is like so obsessed with that series, and I've seen so many people just love it and rave about it. So recently Justice Hastings series and books was bought by a publisher, and so they got brand new covers. So I bought Magnolia Parks and Daisy Hates. So I'm going to reread the first one, and I want to read the whole series. She actually just announced, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, that the 5th book is coming out in February of 2024, and I'm actually excited about it, and I don't know why. I haven't even enjoyed the first book very much, but I'm excited. So I did buy the 2 new covers. You can no longer get the OG indie covers in America, which makes me so sad because I have the first one and it's absolutely stunning and I want the rest of them, but you literally can't get them. 3rd and 4th book aren't even out in the new covers yet, so hopefully those come out soon because I do want to try this again. I've heard that a lot of people had to read the first one twice before they really got into it, and then you just fall in love with everything. So I don't know if I just like didn't understand the concept as much at first or what it is, but I am excited about these books and I can't wait to own all of them. I don't absolutely hate the covers, but the OG covers are 10,000 times better. But I I bought those. Next, we actually have a memoir, which I've never read before, and it's Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. I know a lot of people read this, I think last year, and they really enjoyed it, so I'm excited to get into it. I think it's basically just like advice from Dolly Alderton on literally love. I think she like would write for a newspaper or something, and it's just a bunch of her articles all put into a book. So I am excited to try this. I've never read anything like this before, so I'm very interested to see what she has to say. But I've heard this is really good for people my age to read, because it just like really explains a lot, tells you a lot, gives you a lot of advice. So I'm excited to read this one. The next book I have is See You Yesterday by Rachel Lynn Solomon. She is the same author as Today, Tonight, Tomorrow. She writes YA romance. This is just another YA romance. I don't really know anything about it, but I grabbed it because it looked cute and the cover is just adorable, and I was like aware of the author, and so when I saw it, it caught my eye, and so I grabbed it. So I'm excited to read her books. I haven't even read the first one, which is Today, Tonight, Tomorrow, but I really want to, so maybe I'll get into these soon. But I grabbed that one at Barnes. The last one in my third stack is Jade City by Fonda Lee. So this is a fantasy series. Once again, I really don't know anything about it. The only person who I've seen even talk about them is Rachel here on YouTube. So she hasn't even read them yet, I don't think, but I've seen her like talk about it in her TBR videos and stuff. So I grabbed it. I'm trying to expand my horizons when it comes to fantasy books, so that's why we have a couple fantasies sprinkled in here. But I love the cover, and I am excited to try out something a little different. So next we have Thrive by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This is the most recent release in the like re-release of the Addicted Calloway Sisters series. I think this is book like 6 or 7 in the series. I've currently read the first 3 and I cannot wait to get into the next one. But I have just loved this series so far, and I cannot wait to continue it. I have all of mine right there on that shelf, but I can't wait to continue the series. I absolutely loved having Lowback in the 3rd book, and this is just going to continue right off where the 3rd book ended. So this is the next one in the Addicted series, but there's 2 before it that are the Calloway series that you're supposed to read, like interconnected the series and stuff. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm excited to get back into those at some point. That actually was my most recent read, was Addicted for Now. So the next one is a brand new release, and that is What Happens After Midnight by K.L. Wather. I recently read The Summer of Broken Rules, and I literally loved it. It was so good. So I wanted to pick up her new release, and then she has another release coming out in September or October with the cutest fall cover ever. But I literally just love how tailor coded this is, like midnights, you know. She talked about Taylor in the other book that I read by her, but this one I think is about a boarding school, so I'm really excited to get into it. It's a really cute cover. It's YA romance, super easy, quick read, I would assume, and I can't wait to try this out and read more by this author. The next 2 are part of a series I've never heard anyone talk about before, but I saw these at Barnes on one of their tables, and I grabbed the 1st and 2nd book, and that is the Linden You series by B. Celeste, or I don't know how you say that, but it's Dare You to Hate Me and then Beg You to Trust Me. So these are football romances, which you guys know, literally my favorite. These covers are giving. I love them, but I saw these just sitting on a table, and so I picked them up. I know nothing about them. I have no idea what they're about, but when I read the back, it sounded good. So these are 2 more books that I grabbed that I'm excited to get into. The last 2 books I have to show you guys, I'm so excited to read this fall, and that is The Naturals and also Killer Instinct. So this is book 1 and 2 in the Natural series. These are YA mystery fiction type of book. Both Destiny and Sarah have read these recently and they were obsessed with them. Jennifer Lynn Barnes is the same author of The Inheritance Games, which I read last year and I really enjoyed. So I can't wait to get into these. I've heard it's a lot like Criminal Minds, but in like teenager form. But these covers are really cute and I'm excited to get into them because I've heard they're really good. So those are also, you know, on my fall TBR. So I will be doing a fall TBR video. I think that will be my next video, will be my fall TBR, and I'm so excited about fall time. One other book that I bought, which isn't here yet, is Divine Rivals. That one is so highly talked about, and the second book in that series actually comes out in just a couple of months, so I'm very excited to get that one. I know Sarah is literally so obsessed with it, so I cannot wait to read it and see what all the hype is about. But those are all of the 20-some books that I have bought in the past few months. I am always buying books. Clearly I have a lot of books and I love just continuing to add to my library and my collection. But I hope you guys enjoyed this massive little book haul. Let me know how we feel about this setup for filming sit-down videos. I think I like it, but I won't really know until I'm editing this footage. So let me know what we think. But with all that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my face. Check out all my socials down below, including my Goodreads and my Amazon wishlist. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I love you all so much, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys!